Zara Williams had 30 minutes before her second shift started and exactly $47 in her bank account. The math wasn't working. It never worked. She stood in the service elevator of the Artemis Tower, Chicago's most exclusive residential building, watching the numbers climb. 45, 46, 47. The penthouse was on 65. Her reflection in the polished steel doors looked as exhausted as she felt. Dark circles under brown eyes, natural hair pulled back in a bun that had seen better days, the burgundy cleaning uniform that marked her as invisible to the people who lived here. The elevator dinged. She stepped out into a hallway that cost more than her entire neighborhood, and walked straight into hell. The penthouse door was open. That was wrong. Mr. Kong never left his door open. She should have turned around. Should have called building security. Should have done literally anything except walk through that door with her cleaning cart. But she heard something. A sound that made her blood freeze. Crying. A woman, sobbing in Korean. Zara pushed the cart inside. "Hello, Mr. Kong? I'm here for..." The words died in her throat. The penthouse looked like a war zone. Furniture overturned. Glass shattered across marble floors. And in the center of it all, a woman in an expensive white dress, mascara streaming down her face, holding a gun. She spun toward Zara. The gun swung in her direction. Zara didn't scream. Couldn't. Terror had stolen her voice. "Who are you?" the woman demanded in accented English. Her hand shook, but the gun stayed pointed at Zara's chest. I'm just the maid. I clean on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I didn't see anything. You saw everything." Her finger moved toward the trigger. "I'm sorry. I can't let you leave." The bathroom door slammed open. Kong Min-Jae stepped out, and Zara finally understood why people used the word dangerous to describe a person. He wore black dress pants and nothing else, water still dripping from his hair. Tattoos covered his chest and arms, intricate patterns that looked like armor. A knife wound on his side, fresh and bleeding. His eyes locked onto the woman with the gun. Then they found Zara. Zara. Her name came out flat, cold. "Leave. Now." The woman laughed. It sounded broken. "She's already seen too much, Min-Jae. She knows about us. About what there is no us." His voice could have cut diamonds. "There never was. You were a transaction that fell through." "A transaction?" The woman's voice cracked. "I loved you. I gave you everything. And you never even..." She turned the gun back toward him. Zara moved without thinking. Grabbed the nearest thing, a crystal vase, and threw it. It hit the woman's arm. The gun discharged. The bullet punched through the floor-to-ceiling window. Glass exploded outward. Wind from 65 floors up screamed into the penthouse. The woman stumbled backward, toward the shattered window, toward open air. Min-Jae lunged, caught her wrist, pulled her back from the edge. She fought him, screaming, crying, trying to claw at his face. He didn't let go, just held her until building security came running, until she collapsed, sobbing into his chest while he stood there like stone, not comforting her, not pushing her away, just enduring. When they finally took her away, Sujin Park, Zara heard them say, "Daughter of the Park family," one of Chicago's Korean organized crime families. Min-Jae turned to her. "You're still here. I didn't know if I should. You should have run." He moved to the bar cart, poured amber liquid into a glass. Blood dripped from his side onto the marble floor. "Most people do, when they see what I am. You're bleeding. I'm aware. You need a hospital. I need you to forget what you saw here tonight." He downed the whiskey in one swallow. "Can you do that, Zara Williams?" The fact that he knew her full name made her skin prickle. "How do you?" "I know everything about everyone who enters my home. Age 26. Father in long-term care on the South Side. You work 3 jobs to pay his medical bills. You're 4 months behind on rent. You have a degree in social work you can't use because you're too busy surviving." His dark eyes met hers. "Am I wrong?" Her throat closed. "No." "Good. Then you understand leverage. He set down the glass. What you saw tonight never happened. Sujin was never here. You never threw that vase. You never saved my life. I didn't. You did. He moved closer. Not threatening, just present. Overwhelming. She would have shot me. The angle was perfect. You stopped her. A pause. Why? I don't know. The truth came out small. Honest. I couldn't watch someone die. Even if that someone is a monster. I was going to say my employer. Something flickered in his expression. Too fast to read. Your previous employer. You're fired. The words hit like a punch. What? No, please. I need this job. I can't. You're fired from the cleaning service. He pulled out his phone, typed something quickly. You're hired by me, directly, as my personal assistant. Salary, $15,000 per month. Your father's medical bills will be transferred to my accountant. Paid in full. Ongoing care covered indefinitely. She stared at him. That's not possible. Why would you? Because you saved my life. Because I'm in your debt. And because he started again. Because I need someone in my home who sees me as human instead of useful. I don't understand. You will. He gestured toward the door. Go home, Zara. Pack your things. A car will pick you up at 7 a.m. You start tomorrow. Start what? His smile was knife-sharp. Learning to survive in my world. Zara didn't sleep that night. She sat in her studio apartment in Pilsen, staring at her phone. At the bank notification showing $15,000 deposited into her account. At the email from her father's care facility, saying his account had been settled by private benefactor. At the text from an unknown number. Sleep. Tomorrow will be difficult. You'll need your strength. Min-Jae. She should have run. Should have told someone. Should have recognized this for what it was, a trap, a cage disguised as generosity. But she thought about her father. About the machines breathing for him. About the debt collectors who called every Tuesday. She thought about 30 minutes between jobs and $47 and the way exhaustion lived in her bones. And she texted back, "Thank you. I'll be ready." The response came immediately. "No, you won't be. But come anyway." The car that picked Zara up at 7 a.m. was a black Mercedes with a driver who didn't speak. He took her single suitcase, opened her door, and drove through Chicago like he owned the roads. They didn't go to the Artemis Tower. They drove north, out of the city, along the lake shore until buildings gave way to estates. Mansions hidden behind walls and gates. The car stopped at one that looked like a fortress. "Where are we?" Zara asked. The driver's eyes met hers in the rearview mirror. "Home." The gates opened. They drove through. The estate was massive. Modern architecture, all concrete and glass. It looked cold, impenetrable. Min-Jae waited at the entrance. He'd changed. Black suit, hair styled. The knife wound hidden beneath expensive fabric. He looked like a different person than the bleeding man from last night. "Welcome," he said. "No quorums. Just statement. This is where you'll live now." "Live? I thought I was your assistant." "You are. But right now you need to disappear." He started walking and Zara had no choice but to follow. Sujin Park was arrested last night. Attempted murder. Her family posted $5 million bail within hours. They won't let this stand quietly. Which means anyone associated with me becomes a potential target. Ice flooded her veins. "You're saying I'm in danger because I saved you?" "I'm saying you're in danger because you witnessed something the Parks would prefer stayed hidden. They don't know yet whether you'll testify, what you told police, what leverage you might have." He stopped, turned to face her. "Until we know their next move, you need to be somewhere they can't find you. Somewhere I can protect you." "You mean somewhere you can control me?" "I mean somewhere you'll be alive." His expression was unreadable. "This isn't negotiable, Zara." The Parks control territory in Koreatown, real estate operations in the northwest suburbs, and import businesses through O'Hare. They have reach. They have resources. And right now, they're deciding whether you're a threat worth eliminating. "What about my father?" Already moved to a private facility in Oak Park under an assumed name. The best care money can buy. You can visit him whenever you want, but only with security escort. Of course, because she was a prisoner now. A gilded cage, but a cage nonetheless. And if I say no? Min-Jae's smile was sad, almost human. Then I'll have security escort you back to your apartment. And I'll hire private protection for you. And your father's bills will still be paid. Because I don't break promises. He paused. But you'll never be safe. Not really. Because the parks don't forget. And they don't forgive. And I can't protect you if you're not here. So I have no choice. Everyone has choices. Yours are just all bad. He gestured toward the house. Stay here. Let me handle the immediate threat. Let me train you to defend yourself. Then, when it's safe, we'll make you visible, show them you matter to me, that hurting you would be a declaration of war. But only when you're ready. Only when you can handle what that means. How long? Months. Maybe longer. His eyes held hers. I know it's not fair. I know you didn't ask for this. But I'm asking you to trust me. Just until the danger passes. Zara looked at the estate. At this man who was offering her survival wrapped in confinement. Okay, she whispered. I'll stay. The estate had 12 bedrooms. Min-Jae gave Zara the one farthest from his. Privacy, he explained. You'll want it. The room was bigger than her entire apartment. King bed. Sitting area. Bathroom with a tub that could fit 3 people. A closet full of clothes in her exact size. How did you know? I told you. I know everything. He moved to leave, then stopped. Dinner is at 7. Attendance mandatory. We have things to discuss. What things? How to keep you alive. He left before she could respond. Zara spent the day exploring. The estate was beautiful and empty. No staff visible during the day. No guards she could see, though she suspected they were there. Just her and the suffocating silence. At 6:45, she found the dining room. A table that could seat 20. One place setting at the head. One to the right. Min-Jae was already seated. You're early, he observed. I don't like being late. Good. Punctuality suggests respect. He gestured to the chair. Seat. She did. A woman appeared from the kitchen, the first other person Zara had seen all day, carrying plates. Bulgogi, kimchi, rice, banchan. The smell made her stomach growl. Eat, Min-Jae said. We'll talk after. They ate in silence. The food was incredible. Zara hadn't eaten this well in months, maybe years. When the plates were cleared, Min-Jae poured tea, handed her a cup. Sujin was my fiancé, he said. No preamble. Arranged marriage. Her family wanted access to my connections in the legitimate business world, my restaurants, my real estate holdings. My family wanted her father's political influence. Love had nothing to do with it. Zara wrapped her hands around the cup. Stayed quiet. I broke the engagement 3 weeks ago. Found out she was selling information to competitors. Using our relationship to gather intelligence. His jaw tightened. Last night was her response. She said she loved you. She loved what I represented. Power. Money. Status. He sipped his tea. I was a crown she wanted to wear. Not a person she wanted to know. That sounds lonely. His eyes snapped to hers. Something shifted in them. It's safe. Those aren't the same thing. In my world, they have to be. Silence stretched. Zara broke it. What do you need me to do? As your assistant. For now, learn, train, survive. He set down his cup. Tomorrow you start self-defense training with Sarah. She's ex-military. She won't go easy on you. You'll also study Korean, enough to understand what's being said around you. And you'll learn about my businesses. All of them. Including the illegal ones? His expression didn't change. Especially those. If you're going to survive in my world, you need to understand how it works. The legitimate businesses, restaurants, real estate, import, export, and the other operations. The protection services, the territory arrangements with other families, the way money moves through the system. He leaned forward. I won't lie to you, Zara. About what I am or what I do. That's the deal. Why? Because you saved my life. Because you chose to act when you could have run. Because, he stopped. Because everyone else in my life wants something from me. You just wanted to stop someone from dying. That's rare. I'm not letting it go. The days fell into a pattern. Morning, physical training. Sarah was everything Min-Jae promised. Cold-eyed, efficient, merciless. You're soft, she said in Korean accented English on the first day. Weak. How did you survive in Chicago? By being invisible, Zara replied. That won't work here. Again. The training was brutal. Basic self-defense. How to break holds. Where to strike to disable an attacker. How to move, how to think, how to not freeze when violence came. Zara failed constantly. Got knocked down, thrown, overpowered. But she kept getting up. Sarah never praised her. But after the first month, she said, You're less soft now. Still weak. But learning. It was the closest thing to approval Zara had received. Afternoon. Work and education. Assistant meant answering phones, scheduling meetings, translating documents. Min-Jae's legitimate businesses were extensive, 3 high-end Korean restaurants in downtown Chicago, a real estate development company, an import-export firm. And then there were the other ledgers, the ones with coded entries, the ones that showed protection payments from businesses in Koreatown, revenue sharing with other families, territorial arrangements. The Korean families in Chicago don't rule the city, Min-Jae explained one afternoon, spreading a map across his desk. We control specific territories, real estate in certain suburbs, import operations through O'Hare, protection services in our neighborhoods. We coexist with the Italian families on the west side, the Irish near the docks, the Mexican organizations in the southwest. Cross the wrong boundary, disrespect the wrong arrangement, and you start a war. Is that what Sujin did? Cross a boundary. She tried to sell my territory to a rival family. Tried to leverage our engagement into a hostile takeover. His finger traced routes on the map. That's why she had to be stopped. Not because I hated her. Because she threatened the balance. Zara studied the map. The careful divisions. The negotiated peace. It's like a chessboard, she said softly. Exactly. And everyone is trying to take the king. Evening. Dinner and conversation. They talked. About everything except what mattered. Zara told him about her father. About growing up on the south side. About her degree she couldn't use. He told her about growing up in Seoul. About his mother who died when he was 12. About the empire his father built that he never wanted to inherit. Why didn't you walk away? She asked one night. Because walking away would have started a civil war within my family. My half-brother Juno wanted control. Still does. He's running our Seoul operations now, but he's always looking for an opening to come back. Better to rule than to watch everything burn from exile. He poured more tea. Besides, where would I go? This is all I know. You could learn something else. Could I? His eyes held hers. Could you? If you had the choice. She thought about it. Yes, I finish my degree. Open a community center. Help kids like I was. Then do it. With what money? What time? You have money now. You have time. I only require 40 hours a week. The rest is yours. He leaned back. What's stopping you isn't resources, Zara. It's fear. The accuracy of it stung. What would I be afraid of? That you'll get what you want and discover it wasn't worth wanting. That you'll succeed and still be empty. That you'll, he stopped. That you'll be like me. Powerful and completely alone. The vulnerability in his voice made her chest ache. You're not alone right now, she said softly. His expression shifted. No. I suppose I'm not. 3 months became 4. 4 became 5. Zara grew stronger. Not skilled, Sarah made that clear, but stronger. She could break a wrist hold now. Could strike accurately. Could move without freezing. You won't win a real fight, Sarah told her. But you might survive one long enough for help to arrive. That's all we can hope for. It would have to be enough. She also grew comfortable. Too comfortable. The estate stopped feeling like a prison and started feeling like home. Min-Jae's presence became the center of her days. His rare smiles, his dry humor, the way he listened when she talked about her father's condition, the way he looked at her when he thought she wasn't watching. One night, 6 months after she'd arrived, he found her in the library reading. "Your father is improving," he said without preamble. "The doctors say the new treatment protocol is working. He might wake up." Joy flooded through her. "Really? Really?" They're cautiously optimistic. He sat across from her. "I thought you'd want to know. Thank you for everything you've done for him. It's not altruism, Zara. You saved my life. This is debt repayment." "Is that all this is?" The question slipped out. "Debt." His eyes met hers, dark and intense. "No. It stopped being just debt about 4 months ago." Her breath caught. "Min-Jae, I'm not asking you for anything," he said quietly. "I'm just telling you the truth, because I promised I would always be honest with you, even when the truth is complicated." "What changed?" "For months ago, you stopped looking at me like I was your captor and started looking at me like I was a person, like I mattered beyond what I could provide." He stood. "That's dangerous, Zara. For both of us." "Why?" "Because people I care about become targets, become leverage, become ways to hurt me." He moved toward the door. "I'm telling you this as a warning. Don't care about me. It's not safe." "Too late." He stopped, turned. "I already care," she said. "I have for weeks, maybe months. I don't know when it happened, but it did." The silence stretched. "Then we're both in trouble," he said finally. He left before she could respond. The attack came 2 weeks later, for months after Zara had moved to the estate. She was in the library reading. Min-Jae was in his study. Normal evening. Then the lights went out. Emergency lighting kicked in, red and dim. An alarm shrieked. Min-Jae appeared in the doorway, gun in hand. "Come with me. Now." "What's happening?" "Parks. They breached the perimeter." He grabbed her wrist, pulled her into the hallway. "We need to get to the safe room." They ran. Behind them, glass shattered. Shouts in Korean echoed through the halls. They reached a panel in the wall. Min-Jae pressed his palm against it. It slid open, revealing stairs descending into darkness. "Go," he ordered. "What about you?" "I'll hold them off." "No." The word came out fierce. "I didn't save your life just to watch you throw it away." Something flashed in his eyes. "Zara." Gunshots. "Close. Too close." He shoved her through the door. Followed. Slammed it shut. They descended into a bunker that looked military-grade. Concrete walls. Computer monitors showing security feeds. Weapons rack. On the screens, Zara watched men in black pour into the estate. 8, 10, 12. "That's too many," she whispered. "I know." Min-Jae moved to the weapons, selected a rifle. Checked it with practiced efficiency. "They're not here to scare me. They're here to end this." "How long until police arrive?" "They won't. The parks have arrangements with the local department. By the time anyone official shows up, it'll be over." He turned to her. "I need you to do something." "What?" "Survive." He pressed a phone into her hand. "If I don't come back in an hour, call the number programmed in. Say the word, sanctuary. Someone will come for you." "Min-Jae." He cupped her face. The first time he'd touched her with gentleness instead of necessity. "Thank you," he said quietly, "for the months. For making this place feel less empty." Then he was gone. Up the stairs. Into the red light. Into the gunfire. Zara stood there for exactly 30 seconds, her training warring with her fear. Sarah's voice in her head. "You won't win a real fight, but you might survive one long enough for help to arrive." She grabbed a gun from the rack. Her hands shook so badly she nearly dropped it. For months of training, and she still felt like that terrified maid in Min-Jae's penthouse. But she followed him anyway. The first man Zara encountered was in the kitchen. He saw her, raised his weapon. She fired. Blind panic, no technique, pure desperation. The recoil slammed into her wrists. The shot went wild, punching through the wall 3 feet to his left. He laughed, started to aim at her properly. Then Min-Jae appeared from the dining room and put 3 bullets in him. Center mass. Professional. The man dropped. Min-Jae saw Zara, fury flashing across his face. I told you to stay in the safe room. You also told me not to trust you. She was shaking, adrenaline and terror making her voice crack. I tried to help. You almost got yourself killed. He grabbed her shoulders. You can't shoot. 4 months of training doesn't make you a soldier. If I hadn't been there, but you were there. The words exploded out. And I didn't freeze. I pulled the trigger. I tried. I'm not going to sit in that bunker and wait to find out if you're dead. A window shattered. Glass rained down. Min-Jae pulled her behind the kitchen island. Bullets punched through the walls above them. They crouched there, breathing hard, while chaos reigned. Why? He asked, his voice rough. Because what? Because I don't want to survive if you don't. The confession fell out. True. I know it's stupid. I know it's been months, not years. I know you're a criminal and I'm an idiot and this is probably some kind of trauma bond, but I don't care. I don't want to be in that safe room alone. I want. He kissed her. Hard. Desperate. His hand in her hair, her back against the cabinet. The taste of fear and adrenaline and something that felt dangerously like hope. Gunfire erupted overhead. They broke apart, both gasping. We're going to survive this, he said against her mouth. And then we're going to finish that conversation. Promise. Promise. He pulled her up. They moved through the house like shadows. Min-Jae took down 3 more men. Zara didn't shoot anyone else, but she didn't hide either. She stayed close, watched his back, handed him magazines when he needed to reload. Not skilled, but present. Surviving. They reached his study. He locked the door, moved a painting to reveal a safe, pulled out a phone, dialed, spoke in rapid Korean. Hung up. Reinforcements? Zara asked. Better. Leverage. He moved to the window. In the distance, sirens wailed. The parks may have arrangements with the local police, but I have an understanding with an FBI field office director. She owes me a favor. A big one. Her team will be here in 6 minutes. You blackmailed an FBI director? I helped her disappear evidence about a gambling problem that would have destroyed her career. She's grateful. He glanced at her. Welcome to my world. Everything is leverage. Everyone has debts. What's mine? The question stopped him. I don't know yet. Maybe you don't have one. Everyone has debts. You said so. I said everyone. Not you. His eyes held hers. I'm starting to think you're the exception. The door exploded inward. 2 men charged through. Min-Jae shot the first. The second tackled him before he could fire again. They crashed into the desk. The gun skittered away. Zara didn't think. Didn't plan. Just grabbed the lamp from the side table, heavy metal base, and swung it into the man's skull. Her hands shook. No technique. Just blind panic and desperation. But it connected. He went down. Min-Jae rolled out from under him. Found his gun. Finished it. Then sirens. Shouts. The FBI arriving in force. It was over. They sat on the floor of his destroyed study, backs against the wall, while federal agents swarmed the estate. You hit him with a lamp, Min-Jae said. I threw a vase at Sujin. Lamps seemed like a logical escalation. He laughed. Actually laughed. The sound was hoarse and broken and beautiful. You're insane, Zara Williams. I saved your life. Again. You're welcome. Twice in 4 months. I'm starting to think you have a habit. Or you have a death wish. Maybe both. He turned his head to look at her. That thing you said. Before. About not wanting to survive if I don't. I meant it. You shouldn't. I'm not worth. She grabbed his shirt, pulled him close, kissed him until they couldn't breathe. When she pulled back, his eyes were dark and desperate. Don't tell me what I should feel, she said. Don't tell me you're not worth it. Don't tell me this is trauma bonding or stupidity or anything except what it is. What is it? I don't know yet, but I want to find out. She rested her forehead against his. If you'll let me. His hand came up, cupped her face. I've never let anyone close. Not since my mother died. Because everyone I love becomes a target. Becomes leverage. I'm already a target. Already leverage. Might as well make it real. You don't know what you're asking. Then show me. Teach me. Let me choose this with full knowledge instead of trying to protect me from the truth. He stared at her for a long moment. Then, okay. Okay. I'll show you everything. The businesses. The violence. The choices I make that keep me up at night. And if you still want this, want me, after seeing it all, he stopped. Then I'll stop fighting it. Fighting what? His thumb stroked her cheek. Falling for you. The next 3 months were education in darkness. Min-Jae kept his promise. He showed Zara everything. The restaurants that moved money between legitimate and illegitimate accounts. The import business that handled both legal goods and untaxed luxury items. The protection services that walked the line between security and extortion. He took her to meetings where men talked in coded language about territory and percentages and problems that needed solving. He showed her the ledgers that tracked both businesses. Legal and illegal. The thin line between legitimate empire and criminal enterprise. This is what I am, he said one night, spreadsheets covering his desk. This is the world you're asking to be part of. Zara looked at the numbers. The gray money disguised as profit margins. I understand. Do you? Really? He stood, started pacing. I'm not a good man, Zara. I've killed people. Ordered deaths. Destroyed families who threaten mine. I've done things that would make you run screaming if you knew the details. Tell me. What? Tell me the worst thing you've ever done. Right now. No filter. He stopped. Stared at her. Why? Because I want to know if I can handle the truth. If I can look at the monster and still see the man. Silence stretched. Then, 3 years ago, a rival family kidnapped my cousin. Used him to extort territory from my father. When we got him back, he was broken. PTSD. Couldn't function. Min-Jae's voice went flat. The man responsible had a daughter. 17. Innocent. I had her taken. Held for 3 days. Made sure her father knew exactly what we could do to her if we wanted. Made sure he understood that his family was now as vulnerable as mine. Her stomach turned. Did you hurt her? No. I'm not that far gone. But I let him believe I would. Let him suffer thinking his child was being tortured. Let her be terrified even though no one touched her. His eyes met hers. That's who I am. Someone who uses innocence as weapons. Who traumatizes children to make a point. The confession hung between them. Heavy. Dark. She should have run. Should have called the FBI. Should have done anything except what she did. She stood. Crossed to him. Took his hands. Did you send her home safely? He blinked. What? The girl. Did you return her unharmed? Yes. With a warning to her father that next time she wouldn't be so lucky. But this time she was. You made a point without crossing the line you won't cross. She squeezed his hands. That doesn't make it right. But it makes you human. Humans are capable of terrible things when protecting family. You're making excuses for me.
No. I'm acknowledging complexity.
You did something awful to prevent something worse. That's not black and white. That's gray. And if I can't handle gray, I can't handle you. Can you? Handle me? She thought about her father. About the nurses who cared for him because Min-Jae paid them. About the kids in her old neighborhood who die from gang violence because no one stopped it. About the fact that sometimes the world needed complicated people to navigate complicated problems. Yes, she said. I can handle you. All of you. The empire and the violence and the choices that keep you up at night. She moved closer. But you have to let me in. Really in. No more walls. No more protection. His hands tightened on hers. If I do that, if I let you see everything, you become a target. Not theoretical. Real. Every enemy I have will come for you. Then teach me to fight, like you promised. Make me strong enough to survive your world. Zara, I'm already in this, Min-Jae, already at risk. The parks proved that. So stop protecting me from hypotheticals and start preparing me for reality. He pulled her close, pressed his forehead to hers. You're going to be the death of me, or the life of you. We'll see. He kissed her then, slow and deep and full of everything unspoken. When they broke apart, he whispered, I'm falling in love with you. It's stupid and dangerous and probably going to get us both killed. But it's true. Her heart stuttered. Min-Jae, you don't have to say it back. I know it's fast. I know it's insane. I just needed you to know. Because if something happens, she kissed him quiet. I'm falling too, she said against his mouth. Just as fast. Just as stupid. Just as dangerous. They stood there, wrapped in each other, while Chicago glittered beyond the windows. Two people choosing darkness together. Two people deciding that love was worth the risk. Two people who should have known better. 8 months after Zara moved to the estate, her father woke up. She was sitting beside his bed at the Oak Park facility, visiting like she did every Tuesday, always with security escort, when his fingers squeezed hers. Daddy? She whispered. His eyes opened, unfocused at first, then slowly clearing. They found her face. Zara, he croaked. Where? You're safe. You're in a good facility. You're going to be okay. It took weeks of therapy before he could speak clearly. Months before he could sit up on his own. But he was improving. Actually improving. One afternoon, 3 months after he'd woken, he was strong enough to ask real questions. How? The cost. Taken care of. You don't have to worry. By who? She hesitated. Then, by someone who cares about me. Someone who's making sure you get the best care possible. Her father studied her face. He looked older, thinner, but his eyes were sharp. You look different. Harder. What happened to you? I've had a complicated year. Tell me. So she did. Not everything. But enough. About Min-Jae. About the attack. About choosing his world. When she finished, her father was quiet for a long time. Do you love him? He asked finally. Yes. Does he love you? Yes. Is he good to you? She thought about Min-Jae. About the way he looked at her. The way he'd changed his entire routine to accommodate her needs. The way he'd let her in when he'd spent years keeping everyone out. Yes. He's good to me. Then that's all that matters. Her father squeezed her hand. Life is short, Zara. Especially for men like him. If you found love in darkness, hold on to it. Don't let it go. Tears stung her eyes. Even though he's dangerous? Because he's dangerous. Safe men don't fight for what they love. Dangerous ones do. The wedding invitation arrived 10 months after Zara had moved to the estate. 22 months after Soo-jin's arrest. Soo-jin Park to Kang Juno. Min-Jae's half-brother. The one no one talked about. The one who'd been sent to manage their family's sole operations 5 years ago after a failed power grab. She's marrying him, Min-Jae said, staring at the ornate card. She made bail, her family paid $5 million. The case has been delayed 22 months through motions and continuances. Her lawyers are masters at exploiting the system. And now this. How is she even allowed to leave the state for a wedding? Money.
Corruption.
Her family owns enough judges to make it happen. He set down the invitation. She's using the marriage to legitimize her position. If she marries Juno before trial, she gains protection under spousal privilege. Creates legal complications about testifying against family business. I don't understand. Juno runs our family's sole operations. My father sent him there after he tried to take control from me. Kept him away from Chicago to prevent a civil war. He's been building his own power base for 5 years, waiting for a chance to come back. He looked at Zara. If he marries Soo-jin, he gains the Park family's Chicago territory and political connections. Combined with his sole resources, he'd have the leverage to challenge my authority here. So this wedding isn't just personal. It's a hostile takeover. Exactly. His jaw tightened. And they're making it public in Chicago to force my hand. Either I acknowledge Juno's return and his marriage, which makes me look weak, or I don't attend and look like I'm afraid. They'll come for you. They'll come for everything I've built. Zara took the invitation. Read the details. The wedding is in 6 weeks. Chicago. The Drake Hotel. Old money venue. They're making a statement. Then we make one too. His eyes snapped to hers. What? They're expecting you to either hide or attack. Do neither. Go to the wedding. As a guest. With me. That's insane. So was you keeping me alive. So was me following you into a gunfight. We seem to specialize in insane. She moved closer. You said I needed to eventually be visible. To make people think I matter to you. What's more visible than showing up at your enemy's wedding? They'll recognize me on sight. Security will remove me, or worse. Not if you're disguised. Contact. Hair styling. Subtle prosthetics. Her mind raced. And me? I'm a South Side girl who scrubbed toilets. Put me in a designer dress with professional makeup and hair? I'll be invisible in a completely different way. We both will be. Until you want to be seen. Min-Jae stared at her. Then slowly smiled. You want to infiltrate my brother's wedding. I want us to walk in together. Make a statement. Show them we're not afraid. We should be afraid. This is exactly the kind of arrogance that gets people killed. Then we'll die together. Seems appropriate at this point. He pulled her close. You're supposed to be my voice of reason. My conscience. I'm your partner. That means being as crazy as you are. Partner. He tested the word. I like that. Good. Because we're doing this. With or without your permission. His laugh was low and dark. God help anyone who tries to stop you. 6 weeks later, Zara stood in front of a mirror, barely recognizing herself. The dress was midnight blue silk. Designer. Cut to emphasize curves she didn't know she had. Her hair was styled in elegant waves. Makeup dramatic and perfect. Contouring that subtly changed the shape of her face. Diamond earrings. Real ones, not costume. Sparkled at her ears. She looked like she belonged in Min-Jae's world. Like she'd been born to it. He appeared in the doorway, and his expression made her breath catch. He wore colored contacts that turned his dark eyes hazel. His hair was styled differently, softer, less severe. Subtle facial prosthetics changed the line of his jaw just enough. He wore a tuxedo that cost more than her old apartment. He looked like a stranger, and exactly like himself. You're staring, she said. You're beautiful. He crossed to her. I always knew it. But this, he gestured. This is armor. You look dangerous. I feel like an imposter. Good. That's the point. They'll see the dress and the jewels and dismiss you. Never look deeper. He handed her a clutch. Inside was a compact pistol. Just in case. You think I'll need it? I think you're the kind of woman who could kill someone and no one would suspect you until it was too late. That's the most dangerous kind. She tucked the clutch under her arm. Teach me to be dangerous, you said. Careful what you wish for. His smile was proud. I regret nothing. The wedding was at the Drake Hotel. Old money. Expensive taste. Chicago's Korean elite gathered to witness a union that was more merger than marriage. Min-Jae and Zara arrived fashionably late. He kept his head down, her hand in his. They signed the guest book with false names. Kim Dae-young and guest. They entered the reception hall. Hundreds of guests. The Park family in their section, dressed in traditional Korean hanbok mixed with Western formal wear. The Kong extended family across the aisle. Chicago's Korean business community filling the rest. And at the center, Soo-jin in white. Juno in a tuxedo. Both of them smiling like they'd won. Zara's pulse hammered. This was insane. They were walking into enemy territory with nothing but disguises and arrogance. Min-Jae's hand squeezed hers. Steady. Calm. They took seats in the back. No one looked twice. The ceremony began. Standard words about love and commitment in Korean and English. Each one ringing hollow in the space where marriage was just another power move. Min-Jae's hand found Zara's under the table. His grip was tight. "Are you okay?" she whispered. "Watching my brother marry the woman who tried to kill me? I've been better. We can leave."
No.
"We're here for a reason." The officiant reached the objection part. "If anyone here has reason these two should not be wed." Min-Jae stood. The room went silent. He removed the contacts. Slowly, deliberately, one, then the other. His real eyes, dark and deadly, locked onto the altar. "I object," he said clearly. In Korean first, then English. "I object to this farce, this mockery, this alliance built on attempted murder." Recognition rippled through the crowd. Gasps, shouts, chairs scraping. Sujin's face went white, then red. Juno looked like he'd seen a ghost. Min-Jae walked toward the altar. Slow, deliberate. Zara followed, heart hammering, hand near her clutch. "Hello, brother," Min-Jae said when he reached Juno. "Miss me? You're supposed to be dead." The Parks said. The Parks said what Sujin told them, that she'd eliminated the threat. Min-Jae smiled. "But I'm very hard to kill, as your lovely bride discovered." Security moved in. Black suits, weapons half drawn. "Don't," Min-Jae's voice cracked like a whip. "Not unless you want to start a war in a room full of witnesses. Families beyond the Parks and Kangs. Neutral parties. Business partners. Think carefully before you act." One of the Park elders stood. "What is the meaning of this?" "Kang Min-Jae, you have no right." "I have every right. This woman," he pointed at Sujin, "attempted to murder me in my own home. My partner witnessed it. Saved my life. The evidence has been preserved. Security footage. Forensics. Witness testimony." Every eye turned to Zara. She lifted her chin. Met their stares. She'd come too far to falter now. "It's true," she said. Her voice carried across the silent room. "I was there. I saw her with the gun. I saw her pull the trigger. I saw her try to shoot him." "She's lying." Sujin's voice cracked. "She's just some maid he's fucking. She'll say anything he—" "DNA evidence," Min-Jae interrupted. "Cold. Clinical. From the penthouse. Her fingerprints on the gun. Building security footage showing her entering with a weapon concealed in her purse. Police reports. Federal reports." He pulled out his phone. "Should I play it? Here? In front of everyone? Or should we discuss this privately?" The Park elder's face went purple. "This is a family matter. It should be handled." It stopped being a family matter when she involved my brother. When she tried to use marriage to legitimize her revenge. Min-Jae's eyes found Juno. "Did you know? That she tried to kill me?" Juno's silence was answer enough. "You did know." Min-Jae's laugh was bitter. "Of course you did. This was your plan all along. She eliminates me, marries you. You claim the Chicago operations as the rightful heir while she gains Kang family protection from prosecution. You were never the rightful heir." Juno exploded. "Father chose you because of your mother's connections. Not because you were better. Not because you deserved it. Because of politics. And you think murder is how you fix that? I think survival is the only thing that matters." Juno stepped down from the altar. "You got lucky, Min-Jae." She missed. "But luck runs out." "Is that a threat?" "It's a promise." The room held its breath. Then Min-Jae smiled. "Good. I was hoping you'd say that." He pulled out a different phone. Pressed a button. Every screen in the reception hall, set up to show wedding photos, flickered. Changed. Showed a recording. Sujin and Juno, in bed together, planning, talking about the scheme, about eliminating Min-Jae, about splitting the empire, about the baby. "You're pregnant." Juno's voice came through the speakers. "Who's the father? Does it matter? It's leverage. Min-Jae thinks it might be his from before I broke in. Will marry me to legitimize the child, out of guilt or duty or Korean propriety. And then you kill him, make it look like an accident. Grief-stricken widow inherits everything." "Exactly. And you come back from Seoul as the grieving brother. We merge the territories. Rule together." The recording ended. The room erupted. Park family elders shouting at Sujin. Kong family members surrounding Juno. Guests scrambling for exits. Security didn't know who to protect, who to arrest. In the chaos, Min-Jae grabbed Zara's hand. Time to go. They ran. Out the side exit. Into the cold Chicago night. Into a waiting car, driver ready, engine running. As they sped away, Zara looked back. Saw figures pouring out of the hotel. Heard shouts. Sirens approaching. That was insane, she gasped. That was necessary. Min-Jae pulled her close. They'll come for us now. Both families. There's no going back. I know. You should be terrified. I am terrified. But I'm also, she stopped. Searched for the right word. Alive. For the first time in years, I feel completely alive. He kissed her. Hard. Desperate. When they broke apart, he said, then let's stay that way. The war started that night. Park family soldiers hit 3 of Min-Jae's businesses. Burned them to the ground. Juno's people attacked a shipment. Stole $2 million in product.
Min-Jae responded in kind.
Systematically. Ruthlessly. Zara watched him become someone else. The man she loved disappeared behind the strategist. The king. Cold. Calculating. Lethal. He made decisions that kept her up at night. Ordered things she didn't want to know about but couldn't avoid knowing. But he never lied to her. Never hid it. This is who I have to be, he said one night, after a particularly brutal retaliation. Blood on his shirt, not his own. To keep us safe. To end this. I know. Does it change how you feel about me? She thought about it. Really thought. No, she said finally. It clarifies it. You're not a good man, Min-Jae. But you're good to me. You're good to the people you protect. And in your world, sometimes that has to be enough. He pulled her close. I don't deserve you. Probably not. But you have me anyway. The war lasted 8 months. 8 months of violence. Of retaliation and counter-retaliation. Of territory changing hands and blood in the streets. The other families, Italian, Irish, Mexican, watched carefully. Waiting to see who would win. Ready to capitalize on weakness. It was Min-Jae who understood the danger first. We can't win by destroying each other, he said one night, staring at casualty reports. We'll just weaken ourselves until the other families move in and take everything. So what do? I make Juno make a mistake. The end came 9 months after the wedding. Juno made a mistake. Got ambitious. Tried to expand into territory that belonged to a third family. The Russians who controlled shipping through the western suburbs. They didn't appreciate it. 3 days later, Juno was found in an industrial area near O'Hare. Single bullet to the head. Message sent. Sujin disappeared within hours. They heard she fled to Seoul, the Park family's ancestral compound. Protected but powerless. Her American trial would proceed in absentia. She'd never return to Chicago. The war ended not with a bang but a whimper. The Park family's Chicago operations were absorbed by neutral parties through negotiated agreements. Their political connections severed through exposure and prosecution. Their attempt to expand through marriage and murder had cost them everything. They reached out 2 weeks after Juno's death. Requested a meeting. Offered terms. They want peace, Min-Jae said, reading the message. They're willing to acknowledge my leadership in Chicago. Accept my authority over the territories. What do they want in return?
Assurance.
That I won't pursue further retaliation. That the war is over. Will you give it to them? He looked at Zara. Do you want me to? I want you to do what lets you sleep at night. He smiled, sad and tired. Then yes, I'll give them peace. Because I'm tired, Zara. Tired of blood. Tired of war. Tired of being the monster. What will you do? If the war is over. Build something different. Use the empire for something other than violence. He pulled her close. Maybe even be happy. If that's allowed. It's allowed. Even for monsters? Especially for monsters who choose to change. They met with the Park family elders the following week. Neutral territory. Terms were agreed. Reparations paid. Borders established. Peace treaty signed. It should have felt like victory. Instead, it felt like ending. That night, Min-Jae found Zara on the balcony of the estate. She was watching the lake, thinking about everything that had changed. "What happens now?" she asked when he joined her. "Now we live." He wrapped his arms around her from behind. "We stop surviving and start living." "What does that look like?" "I don't know. I've never tried it before." He pressed a kiss to her temple. "But I want to try it with you." She turned in his arms. "Min-Jae, marry me." The words stopped her heart. "What?" "Marry me. Not for politics. Not for power. Not for any reason except that I love you, and I want to spend whatever time I have left making you happy." "That's not a very romantic proposal." "I'm not a very romantic man." He pulled out a ring. Simple. Elegant. A single diamond on a platinum band. Perfect. "But I'm yours. If you'll have me." She looked at the ring. At his face. At the man who'd been a stranger 18 months ago and was now her entire world. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes. Yes, I'll marry you. You impossible, dangerous, beautiful man. Yes." He kissed her. Soft and deep and full of promise. When they broke apart, he slid the ring onto her finger. "I'm still going to be difficult," he warned. "Still going to have nightmares. Still going to make decisions you hate. I'm still going to challenge you. Still going to call you out. Still going to be stubborn and reckless and probably give you gray hair. Perfect." He smiled. "We're perfect for each other." They married 3 months later. Small ceremony. Zara's father, walking with a cane but walking, gave her away. Min-Jae's mother's family attended from Seoul. Some of his trusted people. A few neutral families as witnesses. No politics. No power plays. Just two people choosing each other. She wore white. He wore black. They said vows that meant something. "I promise to be honest," Min-Jae said. "Even when the truth is ugly. Even when it hurts." "I promise to stay," Zara replied. "Even when it's hard. Even when I'm scared. Even when the world tells me to run." They kissed. Became husband and wife. Built a life together. Not a perfect life. Not a safe life. But a real one. Min-Jae started legitimizing the businesses. Slowly. Carefully. It would take years. Maybe decades. But he was trying. He used his connections to fund community programs in Koreatown. Youth centers. Job training. Alternatives to the life he'd lived. "I can't undo what I've done," he told Zara one night. "But maybe I can prevent others from making the same choices." Zara went back to school. Finished her degree. Opened a community center on the south side. Used their money now to help kids like she'd been. Kids who needed a chance. Her father moved into the estate when he was strong enough. Had a suite on the first floor. Played chess with Min-Jae on quiet evenings. Told stories about Zara's childhood that made her groan and Min-Jae laugh. They became a family. Strange and imperfect and theirs. 1 year after the wedding, Zara found out she was pregnant. Min-Jae cried when she told him. Actually cried. "I don't know how to be a father," he admitted. "You didn't know how to be a husband either. You figured it out. What if I mess this up? Then we'll mess it up together." He pulled her close. "I love you. I love you too." 9 months later, their daughter was born. They named her Min-Seo, after his mother. She was perfect. 10 fingers, 10 toes, a head full of dark hair and lungs that could wake the entire estate. And watching Min-Jae hold her for the first time. This dangerous man cradling new life with infinite gentleness. Zara understood something fundamental. People could change. Darkness could soften. Love could redeem. Not easily. Not perfectly. Not without cost. But it could happen. They were proof. Min-Seo was running through the estate gardens, laughing as her father chased her. He was slower now. Less dangerous. More human. He caught her, swung her up onto his shoulders. She shrieked with delight. "Higher, Appa! Higher!" Zara watched from the porch, one hand resting on her swollen belly. Baby number 2. A boy this time. Her father sat beside her, reading glasses perched on his nose, working on his memoir. His health had stabilized years ago. Now he spent his days writing, playing with his granddaughter, and beating Min-Jae at chess more often than not. Happy? He asked, not looking up from his notebook. She thought about everything. The violence, the fear, the impossible choices. Thought about the man she saved, the man who saved her back. Thought about the life they built from ashes and blood and sheer stubborn refusal to give up on each other. Yes, she said. I'm happy. Min-Jae came up the steps, Min-Seo still on his shoulders. His eyes found Zara's. Warm, loving, home. What are you thinking about? He asked. About the night we met. About how I almost didn't walk through that door. I'm glad you did. Me too. He leaned down, careful of their daughter, and kissed her. I love you, he whispered. I love you more.
Impossible. Probable.
Min-Seo giggled. Daddy and Mama are being gross again. They laughed. All of them, their strange little family. Later that night, after Min-Seo was asleep and her father had retired to his suite, Min-Jae and Zara stood on the balcony, watching the lake, holding each other. Do you ever regret it? He asked. Choosing this life? Every day, she admitted. And not at all. Both things are true. That's very zen of you. I learned from the best. He pulled her closer. Thank you. For what? For seeing me. For staying. For making me believe I could be more than what I was born to be. You did that yourself. I just reminded you it was possible. Semantics. Truth. They stood in comfortable silence. Two people who chose the hard path. The dangerous path. The path that led to this moment. I would do it again, she said softly. Every choice. Every risk. Every terrifying moment. I would do it all again to end up here. Even the part where you threw a vase at Sujin? Especially that part. Excellent aim. Remember? He laughed. That you do. The lake whispered below them. The city glowed in the distance. Their daughter slept safe in her room. Their son grew inside Zara. Her father was healthy and whole. They were happy. They were home. They were proof that sometimes the right choice looked like the wrong one. That sometimes love required courage more than safety. That sometimes the best way to survive darkness was to find someone willing to stand in it with you. And sometimes, just sometimes, monsters got happy endings too.